Welcome to the Fathering Strong podcast, where we connect, engage, and empower fathers to be the best dads they can be for their families and communities. And now, your hosts are Bruce Stapleton and Pastor Eli Williams.
Hello and welcome to Fathering Strong podcast. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Bruce Stapleton, father and grandfather, and one of the co-founders of Fathering Strong.
Hello, Bruce. Kind of exciting. This is episode number 3, and we're getting a little bit more comfortable every time, right? I'm Eli. I'm a father, grandfather. I've got an adopted child, a biological child, and I've got a stepchild. So, and plus grandchildren. So I kind of cover the bases here. President of Urban Light Ministries, and as such, one of the creators, along with Bruce, of Fathering Strong. Welcome to the Fathering Strong broadcast.
So in this episode, we're going to continue our conversation about raising safe, smart, and healthy kids. Each week, Eli posts a blog post, and we like to talk about the different topics to just bring more awareness out there. And so this week, we're going to talk about smart and healthy kids. And I thought it was interesting, when we read through the article about, even before a child's birth, father can play a crucial role in the baby's health and development. I thought that was really interesting. Give us some more insight on that. I think, a lot of dads don't realize that, it even starts before the baby's born. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There is the opportunity to begin building those strong bonds, even while the baby is still in the mother's womb. At the same time, helping support the mother's well-being. So being a good dad begins long before the child is born, just as you said. While the baby is still baking in the oven, we dads can contribute to its health and well-being. One of those ways is by actively engaging as a parenting partner early on, prioritizing the mother's well-being and nurturing the bonds with the child in some very interesting ways. And it helps to really set the stage for a healthy and happy start to your entire family. Even beginning as early as 4 to 6 months during the pregnancy. Your baby can hear. Your baby is aware of the outside world, of the world outside the womb, because the baby can hear your voice. And by the 7th through the 9th months, the baby can recognize voices. So it's important for the father's voice to be there as well as the mother's voice. It was a study done a few years ago in Great Britain that shows that the father's voice elicits a particularly strong response from the baby. Maybe because the voice is different from the mother's, because it's a deeper voice most of the time. The child has a very remarkable response to the father's voice. So it's important for father to be there and to be present, to be singing, to be talking, to be reading stories to your child, even while the child is still preborn. This creates a familiarity and a comforting presence for the baby. And then massaging the mommy's belly, just rubbing her tummy. It helps soothe mom. And it also helps the baby get used to your touch. And that proximity, the voice and the touch and all of that does have a very positive and healthy effect on the child. And then dad, it's important for you to be present at those prenatal appointments. Be there. This allows you to actively participate in the journey, the child's journey into the world and the mother's journey as she goes through the pregnancy. It gives you a chance to witness the baby's growth, as you are able to see along with mom the ultrasounds. You can see how the child progresses and grows from one ultrasound to the next. And this strengthens the bond between you and the mother and the child. The research is showing that when dad is there through that process, he is much more likely to be intimately engaged in the life of the child for life. In other words, all through every stage even for the life of that child, dad is much more likely to be there when he has been present during those important times of pre-birth and then the newborn stages. There's a whole lot more to this. We're going to talk some more about promoting good health for the mom and the baby and building those bonds after we take this short time out.
We dads and father figures need each other. We need a safe, non-judgmental place to share our stories, challenges, heartaches, and joys. Fathering Strong is just such a place. A new online community of connected, engaged, and empowered fathers. Learn more at www.fatheringstrong.com.
All right, well, welcome back. And just wanted to continue the conversation. One of the things I just wanted to mention to you, Pastor Eli, was, I can't tell you how of a really cool feeling it was to hear that baby's heartbeat the first time.
Yes.
And then the second one was when you got that first kick, and it was still in mommy's belly, knowing that something was moving around in there. So, I thought that was really cool, just to really get involved, and really made a big impact on me, as a future father, and then as a, father having to do it a number of times. So, but, bringing that baby into the world has got to be, hard for, mom, and, pregnancy is going to be physically and emotionally demanding. So, what do you think can father do to sort of other things that they can do to help support mom's health?
Well, yes. And Bruce, I have to agree. That experience of bringing a baby into the world is like none other. So let me encourage you dads out there to do everything you can possibly do to be there throughout that whole experience. Don't miss it. It only happens once in the life of that child. One thing dads can do for the mom while she's going through one of the hardest things any human being can do, and that is to bring a child into the world, is to be there to model for her and to encourage healthy habits. And that includes balanced meals. Now, if you're like me and you don't cook very often and you don't do it very well, I would understand if you don't prepare the meals. But if you have that skill, certainly make sure that when you do that, you're providing balanced meals for mom. Encourage her to eat right. In other words, as well as she can, and to have regular exercise to keep her body in good shape. She's going to need her strength. She's going to need to be in good shape to go through with this entire process of having a baby, and help to manage stress for her. I mean, there are things we can do as dads to kind of run interference whenever we can for mom to keep as much stress off of her as possible. Come on, guys, we're men. We can do this. We can shoulder this. It's a part of strong fathering to do what we can to help manage the stress for mom as she goes through this very, very important part in her life and the life of the child. We can help with household chores. Things that might not necessarily be your favorite thing to do, such as washing dishes and vacuuming floors and dusting and doing laundry and all those things. But it's really important, Dad, for us to pitch in and help out during this time of pregnancy. Running errands, to the store to get this and to get that. If mom doesn't have to worry about those kinds of things, it's a huge blessing. That shows that you care. It shows that you care about her. And it gives her time to self-care. All of that contributes to a healthier and calmer environment for the child's development. So it's really, really important, not just for mom, but for the baby. And then after the baby is born, we can continue to share the caregiving load with mom. It's not on her. I mean, we are parenting partners. That means changing diapers. It means sharing in feeding times, uh, doing the baby soothing duties, helping mom out by helping the baby to be calm by holding the baby, rocking the baby, talking to the baby. And can't stress enough the importance of talking and singing and praying over the baby. This allows mom time to rest and to recover, while at the same time you're fostering a strong bond between you and her and the baby. And when you're holding the baby, make it a point to go skin to skin, to hold the baby um, shirtless, close to your skin, next to your skin, shirtless. That's important to help to regulate the baby's temperature. It helps with the heart rate, and again, it promotes bonding between dad and baby. So it seems like a little thing, but it's really, really important to the healthy development of the baby.
Yeah, and one thing I think is important to really understand, and sometimes us dads don't think about this, is these women are going through some major hormonal changes through all of this, and
Absolutely.
they may not be at what you consider to be their best behavior to you sometimes, and you just need to realize, what the circumstances are from that. And it's, I don't know how many times you had to go through it, but I had to go through it 4 times, and you got to sort of step back sometimes and say, okay, mom's going through a lot. We got to help her, and she sometimes just interesting in how the dynamics work maybe differently than what you're used to. You sort of, surprised sometimes at, things that happen based on those hormonal changes, and you got to be able to work through that. And that's an important thing. So,
Yes,
and then the
absolutely.
other thing about toddlers, you talked about kids as they grow up and infants, but what do you think from a toddler stage, what can dads do to help be better parents?
Well, a toddler, much like during the teenage stage, and that maybe you could even say like some at some points during mom's um, stage of being pregnant, and then just having had a baby, there is a lot of, how shall I say, a lot of things going on, a lot of things going on inside the head of a toddler. I mean, besides being full of energy and curiosity, they are they are growing and they're trying to figure things out, and sometimes they need attention for their own safety and their own well-being. They need constant attention. So, Dad, we need to be there and do what we can to help Mom. It's just as much our responsibility during this toddler stage. I mean, they get into everything. You've got to be on constant watch and be vigilant to help them as they're growing through that stage. I mean, beyond just playing games, it's important to nurture the child's curiosity and to provide them with opportunities to burn off some of that energy in healthy ways. Here's some other things. Make plans about actively playing together. Have a schedule perhaps of walks and bike rides and dancing. It doesn't have to be anything formal. Just put on some music and dance. Um, this not only is going to help the child develop physically, it also is setting a good example of how to have good, clean fun. So, Dad, some of your best times will be when you're just horsing around and having fun with your child, and while it's also burning off some of that excess energy that toddlers are going to have. Include your toddler in age appropriate chores. There are things that even a toddler can do, like helping to set the table or picking up toys. It teaches the child early on that they have some responsibility in maintaining the household and of having healthy routines. Yeah, you might not want them to help wash the fine china, but there certainly are things that they can do to help out with the chores. Similarly, even when it comes to preparing meals, there are things that a child can do, that you can help a child do when it comes to building healthy habits. And that includes eating habits. Teach them what a healthy snack looks like. I mean, even a toddler can take some peanut butter and put it on some celery, or some low salt crackers. These are kinds of things that can be not only teaching them good health and nutrition, but also, again, it's time with dad. And all of that is good when it comes to the development of the child. Children need help, and we have a responsibility as fathers to nurture their emotional well being, because even toddlers have emotions, and they have a variety of emotions. And when dad is there to comfort them, help them through their sometimes confusing behaviors, it builds dad up as an emotional security anchor. That dad is there to help, so that when that child is no longer a child and is now a teenager and is going through another stage of what my wife and I call insanity, and they're having all these emotional um, changes going on within them, you want them to know that you are there for them, and because you were there when they were a toddler, they're going to be more comfortable with bringing to you their problems, their questions, and what have you, that they are sure to come. So by offering your comfort during their meltdowns, without losing our own tempers, but being there for them, allowing them to validate their feelings, whatever they are. I think you know what I mean by validating their feelings. However they're feeling, let them know it's okay, that they are allowed to feel whatever they're feeling. Just being there for them and supporting them in that way is hugely important and effective. Helping them to practice calm communication, when they feel like yelling, help them to understand that they can handle things without losing control. Demonstrate what emotional intelligence looks like. That helps them then to manage their emotions. At bedtime, reading stories with them. It can actually become a ritual that's very, very healthy for them. It creates a soothing atmosphere. It helps them to be able to address their fears and their anxieties. Just being there and reading to them a bedtime story on a regular basis. And science is showing that reading to a child actually uh, helps that child's brain to develop, to make connections. I'm not an expert in this, but I do know what I read, and I've been reading it now for years. The research that shows that when parents read to a child on a regular basis, that child's brain develops better. They're more ready for school than a child who has not had that kind of parental attention and reading to them. That child will know more words, which again indicates a higher intelligence. So dad, be a part of that child's life in that way, reading to that child every opportunity you can, every day if possible. And then when that child is old enough, the child can read to you. That's important as well. So those are just a few of the things that parents can do to care for young children and their moms through all those stages, from newborn to toddler to preteen to teen. There's a whole lot more. And I invite you to read my blog from this week that's on this topic. It's the Fathering Strong blog, and you can find it at our website, www.urbanlight.org, or at fatheringstrong.com.
Well, thanks for joining us on the Fathering Strong podcast for this week, episode number 3. And so for more helpful content, as Pastor Eli said, always go to urbanlight.org or fatheringstrong.com and join and get connected with some other dads. So next week, we're going to continue offering some more suggestions on growing smart kids. So please join us then.
The Word of God tells us, "Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward." That's from Psalm 127:3. And may the Lord bless you as you give your child what no one else on earth can. And that is your fully developed father love. That's fathering strong.
The Fathering Strong podcast is a production of Urban Light Ministries with technical assistance from the Movementum Group, and Harold Rayford provides the theme music. So thanks for listening.
Fathering Strong is powered by Urban Light Ministries, a not-for-profit organization serving the needs of families and children for nearly 30 years. Your support helps us continue turning the hearts of fathers to their children while meeting some of the immediate critical needs of struggling families with small children. Contributions of all sizes are welcomed at www.urbanlight.org.